Well, this morning, IU basketball fans are remembering legendary men's basketball coach Bobby Knight. He died yesterday at the age of 83. Knight had one of the most storied careers in college basketball history.
Dominic Miranda is here this morning to talk about Coach Knight and really what he meant to Hoosiers.
Yeah, no question. What can we say to accurately honor this man's legacy? You know about the wins, you know about that he was a fiery guy who endeared himself so greatly to the state of Indiana. When you think of Indiana as a whole, it's known as a basketball state. Bob Knight and what he was able to do at IU was a driving force of that moniker. He was unique in every sense of the word, a man who had a front row seat for 27 years during Bob Knight's tenure. Voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fisher. Dave Calabro caught up with him on Coach Knight.
What made him unique? I know as a broadcaster, you had to be prepared for the general. Well, he wanted people that did their homework and that were committed to their craft.
Right, he did, and he'd like to have fun with you at times, and he would poke the bear, so to speak. But at the same time, every time you listen to him talk, you'd sit there and marvel at what he was saying, and then you'd see it happen on the floor or in real life. He was just an amazing man in that context. Without question, bigger than life. Some people said he was 6'5". Anybody that was around him for any length of time thought he was 7 foot because he was that kind of intimidating figure. But just a great basketball coach.
No doubt about that. Never to be replicated. You hear from IU women's head basketball coach Terry Morin on his impact coming up in just a bit.
Yeah, because his legacy really transcends beyond just men's basketball, really just the sport of basketball in total. We'll see you in just a bit.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dom.
And we continue our coverage this morning with Gina Galeros, who is live in Bloomington.
And Gina, we are already hearing from so many people about their thoughts on the passing of Coach Knight. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Julia. And Julia, yes, a memorial is growing this morning outside Assembly Hall here at the base of the monument marking the 1976 National Championship. As you can see, we have flowers and a candle, an IU Hoosiers balloon, and of course that iconic chair that he's known for throwing. A moment of silence was held last night at the women's basketball game at Assembly Hall. We talked with fans about their thoughts on Knight's historic career. Many of them talked about what he meant to Indiana University and to IU basketball, and some of his most memorable moments on the basketball court.
Condolences go, out to Karen and Pat and the rest of the family. We've lost a legend. We've lost the GOAT, right? And we're all obviously very, very sad here tonight. We play on in respects, to Coach Knight. But, Dave, my earliest memories of him are growing up in Southern Indiana. That's all I knew, was Indiana basketball and Coach Bobby Knight.
Knight's family announced his passing yesterday, saying he passed at his home in Bloomington, surrounded by his family. Knight's family asked those wishing to make a donation in the coach's memory to the Alzheimer's Association, Marian University, or to the charity of your choosing in his name. Marian University said the donations made in his honor will go toward the Bob Knight Endowed Scholarship, created back in 2012. The university's director of athletics, Steve Downing, played for Knight and coached alongside with him, and he said that he believed in the power of sports to shape character and foster teamwork, of course calling him a mentor. We are learning to get some more reaction pouring in this morning, and we're also learning about some vigils that are planned here on IU's campus and in Bloomington. We'll pass those along to you as soon as we get that information. Julia, back to you.
Thank you, Gina.
And former Purdue men's basketball coach Gene Keady competed against Bob Knight many times, but they were good friends over the years.
And we tried to talk with Coach Keady last night, but we were told that he had just learned about Coach Knight's death, as he was too emotional to talk to us over the phone or on camera at the time. A former IU basketball player, Calbert Cheaney, who's from Evansville, talked about his former coach and mentor last night.
Cheaney played 4 seasons under Coach Knight, and he says he'll never forget the lessons Knight taught him.
Smartest coach I've ever been around. Teaches the game extremely well. He embodies Indiana.
Well, IU's current coach, Mike Woodson, also played for Knight.
So he posted this statement on social media saying, quote, "My thoughts and prayers go out to Coach Knight's family and all who loved him. He influenced my life in many ways I could never repay. It is a very sad day for all of us who loved him."
And we will continue to reach out to those who knew Bob Knight best. We have compiled a list of those who have already responded and given us their statements online at WTHR.com and also on our news app.